from the scene right now. This is the second time in a week that something like this has happened. On April 14th, the plane crashed into the Gem State Processing in East Idaho. What's going on here? Well, the story gets weirder. Food processing plants all over the country seem to be catching fire. A couple of days ago, a fire destroyed the headquarters of Azure Standard, one of the largest organic food distributors in the country. At the end of last month, a fire severely damaged a fresh onion packing facility in South Texas. In Oregon, a potato chip processing plant just reported a boiler explosion that sent workers to the hospital. Here's a news report on that.
Eastern Oregon, where crews are battling a major fire at a potato chip processing plant. Air 12 flew over the scene at Shearer's Foods on Highway 207 in Hermiston. We're told the fire was caused by an explosion of a portable boiler there. 2 people were taken to the hospital.
So industrial accidents happen, of course, but this is a lot of industrial accidents at food processing facilities at the same time the president's warning us about food shortages. They're getting hit by planes and catching fire. What is going on here exactly? Jason Rantz hosts a radio show in Seattle and joins us to put it into perspective. Jason, good to see you.
Good to see you. Yeah, obviously, when something happens every so often, you obviously hope that there's no significant damage and certainly no one gets hurt, but you kind of write it off. It's not that big of a deal. Accidents happen. But when you've got well over a dozen food processing plants and warehouses getting destroyed or seriously damaged over just the last few weeks, at a time when the food supply is already vulnerable, it's obviously suspicious, and it could lead to serious food shortages. That's why some folks are now wondering, well, number one, what's going on? And you've got some people speculating that this might be an intentional way to disrupt the food supply.
Wait, may I ask you to pause there really quick? Can I just ask you, I just want to nail this down so our viewers understand. There have been confirmed over a dozen disabling accidents at food plants in the last month, over a dozen.
Absolutely. And we're talking about some really significant plants. The Taylor Farms facility in Salinas, California, was completely destroyed by a fire last week. We've had 2 major potato processing plants in Belfast, Maine, and Warden, Washington, that were completely gutted, which is happening at a time where we already have a potato shortage globally. You were talking about the onion supply at that Rio Fresh. But it's not just produce plants. Last month, there was a fire that took out a Nestle food plant out in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and that's impacting frozen food brands like Hot Pockets or Stouffer's, which maybe you might buy if you can't get fresh food from a warehouse that just exploded. And that Shearer's food facility you just mentioned in the open, I mean, that's the only West Coast facility that they operate. So there is some significant concern, of course, that this is going to impact the supply chain. Now, to be clear, the timing is very suspicious. It's obviously concerning. Police are saying that these fires are due to faulty issues with equipment, so they're not saying that this was intentional. Either way, it's obviously going to have some significant, implications in us getting our food.
Yeah, I mean, an hour ago, a plane crashed into a General Mills facility. We'd already planned this segment. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The onus is on people who think that's a conspiracy theory to explain what is going on. What are the odds of that? I have no idea. Jason Rantz, I appreciate.
Hello, friends. In the book of Matthew, chapter 24, Jesus, he gave the signs of his second coming. And one of those signs of the second coming of Yeshua is a food crisis. There's going to be a great food crisis in the land, right across the world, right before the coming of Jesus Christ. We are witnessing the disruption of the food supply. The chain is being broken right across the world, and so you're having a great food crisis, and it's only going to escalate. In every part of the world, people are going to struggle for food, and the inflation is only going to keep rising. This thing is happening right across the world. We noticed that in the last month, over 12 food processing plants have burned down in the US. Now, is this a coincidence? Is this intentional? Friends, we only need to look all around, and you can see the things that are transpiring, showing us that Jesus is coming soon. Now, again, it's not some kind of coincidence. These things are intentionally done in order to cut off the food supply. And all of this is to carry out one agenda. It is to bring about a depopulation. The whole plan of the globalists is to bring about depopulation. So, again, in the last days, One of the signs of the second coming of Jesus Christ is a food crisis. In the book of Matthew chapter 24, Jesus tells us that one of the signs of his coming will be a great food scarcity upon the land, and this will bring about a time of trouble as you have never seen before upon this earth. We must get ready for this crisis because the end is near. Jesus is soon to come. It's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. And this is why you cannot continue to rely upon the system. You must be able to provide for yourself. And this is why I keep urging people to be independent with the Lord Jesus Christ. He will provide. The Lord will provide for us if we help, if we go out into the countryside and start growing our food. This is the only way we will survive in the last days. Friends, the end is near. The Lord Jesus bless you.